Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. Welcome back to Big Mike Talks, where I'm going to talk about some of the rest of the week that was in pro wrestling. So, little disclaimer, I was surprisingly busy this week, so I didn't get to watch much of Raw, so I didn't take notes for it. Didn't get to see Blood and Guts. I got to see the tail end of it. Ended up missing out on SmackDown and Rampage. So, this is going to be the most random assortment of wrestling I've ever had, as it's NWA Power and AEW Collision. So, let's get into this one and start off with NWA Power. We start with the recap of the finals of the Crockett Cup, which was won by the Southern Six. We then go to our first matchup of the evening as the NWA Tag Team Champions, Blunt Force Trauma, take on the Heavenly Butterflies. This was pretty much an extended squash match made to have BFT look really, really good. Butterflies did get some stuff in, but ultimately it finished after a couple of drop kicks, which, interesting finish. We then go to ringside for a BFT interview with Aaron Stevens saying, "This is a message to the rest of the tag teams in the back. You're looking at the best team in wrestling. NWA doing some great numbers due to Blunt Force Trauma. Tag team wrestling is back, and you all must bow down to Blunt Force Trauma." We'll see what happens there going forward. Obviously, the Immortals have a win over them in the Crockett Cup, so maybe they're next in line. We then cut to backstage with an interview with Wrecking Ball Legursky and Friend. I don't know, he's some radio announcer that's been showing up on NWA. With Legursky pretty much saying, "Look, I'm going home with the 10 pounds of gold. It's going to be an easy night for me. EC3, you better look out." And then we go to our first of 3 title matches on the evening, as the national title is on the line, as one half of the Southern Six, Kerry Morton, challenges Tom Latimer. And boy oh boy, this was an absolute barn burner. This was a great old one-on-one contest. Really good back and forth with Kerry trying to use his speed. Latimer trying to use his brawling. Tit for tat. Then Latimer hits Confusion Boy. Then ding 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 ding, the bell rings. The 10-minute time limit has been reached. So still your national champion, Tom Latimer. Kerry Morton getting another title shot. It sounds interesting. I would have thought they'd be focused on tag team stuff, but Kerry going after the national title. I definitely feel like it's a bit of progression. Then we go to a promo from a backstage promo by Baron Von Storm, aka Tim Storm, and Jax Dane. They call out the Southern Six, saying, "You guys think you run things. We're going to give you a lesson in violence." And Kerry, you say they don't make them like you anymore. Well, you're wrong. They don't make them like us anymore. So, nice little hyped up promo from these two guys. It was pretty much Jax Dane leading this thing. Then we get another backstage promo, this time from Black G's. That's his name. Don't jump on me for that. And Big Strong Mims, with G's pretty much saying, "Look, I've always been in the game of making taking superstars to the next level. Mims then takes over. He says, I always lacked something. And what G saw in me versus Zion. And the only reason I lost was because of Kerry Morton. Well, now I got G's. And he leads stars to titles. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's the difference maker. The difference between Mims, Zion 1 and 2. I'm there now. So, Mims definitely getting a little backup. That's always good. Always good seeing G's back in the, at least around the ring. I don't know how much wrestling he's going to be doing. So, yeah, that's definitely an interesting promo. Next up, we got the women's title on the line as Kenzie Page defends against Missa Kate. And the story of this match is how demented Missa Kate is becoming, including at one point Missa Kate having Kenzie Page in the ropes, and instead of attacking, she just kind of licks her, which is definitely a little bit weird. Kenzie Page tries to slow things down a little bit. Missa Kate then bites her arm, hits a leg sweep. Missa Kate with the camel clutch, but the ref gets Missa Kate off of Kenzie. Couple of back and forth slaps. Couple of shoulder tackles. Kenzie goes for the cutter, that gets blocked into a DDT, only for a 2 count. Kenzie Page with a cutter from out of nowhere to pick up the win and retain her title. This was a fun little match, but I feel like it was fast forwarded a little bit to get through some other stuff. Hopefully we get something interesting for Kenzie down the road, because she's definitely got some stories to tell. Next up, we got an interview with former United States Tag Team Champions Daisy Kill and Talos, with Daisy Kill saying, I had a song already, you want to hear it? No, you hicks aren't going to be hearing this. But it's time to get us back to the United States Tag Team titles. Fixers, I hope you had fixed a few things. Because we're coming. So, obviously, the United States Tag Team titles were vacated by the Immortals for them to get a World Tag Team title shot at not the last pay-per-view, but the pay-per-view before last. So, that's going to be interesting. That came one of the most interesting vignettes I've ever seen from Only Slams, which, you know what a parody that's from. Gonna be interesting to see who's behind that parody. Either it's gonna be Chris Masters, or it's gonna be like Val Venus, which I don't, or maybe it's someone brand new. I have no idea. And then we got our main event, as it's for the NWA World Heavyweight title, as EC3 defends against Wrecking Ball Legursky. And I will say this this match definitely started a little weakly. It definitely got built up after a little bit of time, including Wrecking Ball with a big old bear hug to EC3. It looks like he's out, but eventually he does fight out of it. Into a couple of jawbreakers, into a Luthez press, which, glad that's a transition move now. Wrecking Ball goes for a splash that misses. EC3 with a Thez press from the middle rope. Goes for the 1%er, that gets blocked. Wrecking Ball with the world's strongest slam, only for a 2 count. Diving headbutt from the middle rope that misses. DDT, 1%er. So your winner, EC3. Well, definitely not my favorite match of EC3's title reign. He's definitely had better. This was definitely cool to see him at least put over Wrecking Ball, who is maybe not the most technical wrestler in the world, but he is still pretty entertaining. And yeah, we'll see what happens with the US Tag Team titles. So that was NWA Power. A bit of a hit and miss kind of show, but ultimately it was pretty entertaining. We now move to AEW Collision. That's right, going from Tuesday to Saturday. And this was also kind of a mixed bag of a show, but I'm going to say this, the crowd was into it the entire night. I love this crowd. Anyway, so we open up Collision with Orange Cassidy versus Johnny TV, aka John Morrison. I honestly forgot Morrison was in here. We kind of start with a little bit of a pose off, which is, you know, kind of par for the course for John Mundo. Orange Cassidy then kind of does his own version of it. Then Taya Valkyrie, who's ringside, puts Mundo's sunglasses on him. Then Cassidy has Mundo in a headlock, takes his glasses off, puts it on himself, which is hilarious. Goes for the hands in the pockets spot. Mundo kind of counters it, does some parkour looking stuff. Eventually, Cassidy does put his hands in the pockets and hits a couple of awesome looking arm drags, which gets John Mundo to the outside. Cassidy with a dive to him, gets back in. And honestly, a surprisingly competitive matchup with a couple times Mundo going for the Starship Pain only to miss. Eventually he does hit it only to get a 2 count. Cassidy with the Beach Break and the Orange Punch to pick up the win. Post-match, Johnny TV and Taya Valkyrie attack Orange Cassidy. This brings out Orange Cassidy's teammate from a couple nights ago, Willow Nightingale. So, big save from Willow. I guess we'll be seeing a mixed tag somewhere down the line, which could be fun. Then we get a Bang Bang Gang backstage promo in which Juice Robinson starts saying, "We could tell you how screwed up you were last week, but Mama Wayne, you screwed the wrong pooch. Patriarchy will get you very, very soon. No matter where you are, you're in our house now." Definitely a very fired up promo from former Bullet Club Gold. Even without Jay White, which, feel better soon, Mr. White. Then, next match up, we get a triple threat tag team match playa. And it was very entertaining, as it's the Blackpool Combat Club being represented by Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta, taking on Lee Moriarty and Brian Cage and Top Flight. And this match was a lot of fun. Especially when Top Flight got involved, started bringing the momentum. Eventually, Claudio and Brian Cage got into it with one another. With eventually Wheeler Yuta getting in, hitting an angle slam into a seatbelt to pick up the win for the Blackpool Combat Club. So, yeah, definitely a decent little matchup. We'll see where this goes from here. Maybe they get a tag title shot in the near future. Then we get a promo from the conglomeration. That's Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, and Tomohiro Ishii. Willow and Orange Cassidy walk in with Willow saying, Taya, I kicked your butt out there. I got Purrazzo later tonight for Battle of the Belts. Sorry, I'm not going to be reviewing that. And I'm not down on Spirit. Oh, hold on. So then, Mark Briscoe gets involved saying, you guys kick butt out there. While I'm feeling fatigued tonight, I'm not down on Spirit. Because we had a new member of the conglomeration. He goes off screen, comes back with a little baby, saying, here's little Jay, in tribute to his brother. May he rest in peace. Orange Cassidy, you did your thing out there. Willow, you're going to do your thing later tonight. And later on tonight, we're going to do our thing. So, very fired up promo from Mr. Briscoe. We'll see where it goes from there. And now comes the Lucha Libre portion of the evening as the Beast Mortis, aka formerly known as Black Taurus, takes on Hologram, the former Ares. And I don't know if these two have faced each other in AAA, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did, because they had an awesome Lucha Libre style matchup. Not much I can really say about it. With Hologram winning with a crucifix bomb from the top rope. I'm going to go say this. If you haven't seen this match already, go check it out. It was a whole lot of fun. And Lucha Libre style absolutely rules. Next up, we got Thunder Rosa taking on Maya World. While Maya did get some stuff in, this was an extended squash match with Thunder Rosa winning via the camel clutch. We then get a very interesting highlight of Will Ospreay versus Lance Archer from New Japan Pro Wrestling Dominion 2023, in which, Archer pretty much destroyed Ospreay. Anyway, we get Lance Archer, and he's just throwing people around backstage. They're pretty much enhancement talent. He gets one in a headlock, pretty much saying, there's a new side of me here in AEW. Ospreay, you better not get in my way. I'm going to beat your ass again. Then the extra peels off, runs. Archer looks to the camera, says, everybody dies, and books it right after him. We'll get to that a little later, because that's going to be a whole lot of fun. Next up, it's trios action as the conglomeration. That's Kyle O'Reilly, Mark Briscoe, and Tomohiro Ishii taking on the premier athletes. That's Tony Nese, Josh Woods, and Arya Daivari. And this match was a really, really good one. Everyone worked really, really well together, including Ishii and Woods. I'm not sure if they've had a match together already, but if they're willing to do a one-on-one, I'm in. Eventually, the babyfaces get advantage, with Kyle O'Reilly locking in the armbar to pick up the submission win for the conglomeration. Conglomeration is easily becoming one of my favorite groups in AEW right now. I hope they get a t-shirt. Like, I would legitimately buy a conglomeration t-shirt. Then we go to a Chris Jericho interview, revealing Minoru Suzuki broke his pinky, which pretty much says he is the murder grandpa. chopped me 100 times, broke my pinky, and then Shibata came after me post-match. Suzuki, we aren't done. Next time I see you, I'm going to break your fingers. Shibata, we're coming after you next. You'll have no backup. You'll have no more friends to back you up. Imagine what the learning tree is going to do to you. So, yeah, Shibata is now outnumbered with Samoa Joe filming for Twisted Metal, and Hook out for either its injuries or its contract. I'm not sure. So anyway, we get the enhancement talent coming out, running to the ring. Then Lance Archer's music hits. He catches up to him. Couple of choke slams on the apron. They get in the ring. Bell rings. Couple more choke slams. Big old chop. And then a blackout. Your winner, Lance Archer. I don't mind a good squash match every now and again. And considering it's not really anybody on the roster, it's kind of, it's harmless. But I was hoping to see Archer in a more competitive environment against someone else. Although we're getting that on Wednesday against Ospreay, so that should be a fun one. Then a big surprise match of the evening, as it's FTR, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler taking on MNX Collective, aka the Maximum Male Models. That's right, they've made their way to AEW, and I couldn't be happier. And this was a damn good tag team match. Like, I'm surprised Mason Mansoor weren't given this kind of opportunity in the WWE. But this was a really, really good matchup. I thought it'd be enhancement talent squash, but this was extremely competitive, extremely back and forth, and just really, really good. At one point, Mason Mansoor countered the Shatter Machine, which that was interesting. Eventually, FTR does hit the Shatter Machine for the victory. And post-match, FTR goes for a fist bump, but they end up touching tips, ET style, which, yeah, that popped me. It's definitely going to be interesting to see if AEW signs Mason Mansoor. But, yeah, they really showed that they can hang with absolutely anybody. This was an absolute great match. Then we go backstage with an Acclaimed promo. This was actually from this past Wednesday, after Blood and Guts, in which the Acclaimed would say, look, we got the dub again. We don't want to hear that the Acclaimed don't have it anymore. Every day we show up and we give to AEW. We always deliver. Never underestimate the Acclaimed again. We got our title shot coming up, Bucks. But your attention is with another team, FTR. If you guys were real, you'd be fighting in Blood and Guts besides us. But you didn't. So Young Bucks, heal up real quick. We're coming for the titles. And it's time to nut up or shut up. I love this. The Acclaimed needed more of an edge after turning babyface and kind of floundering a little bit, but it definitely feels like the Acclaimed are kind of changing characters, but adding more of an edge, which is always good. Then we get to our main event, and oh boy, what a main event, as it's the Bastard Pack taking on Lio Rush. And oh my god, this matchup, you guys, I have very little words. This was an awesome matchup. real back and forth, including counters of Pac's Black Arrow, which definitely is interesting. Lio Rush goes for the Frog Splash. That gets blocked. Lio Rush tries for a roll-up. That only gets a 2. Pac with a big old meaty clothesline. Locks in the Brutalizer for the submission win. And Pac is laser focused on the now United States title thanks to MJF. That got changed. So yeah, let's see what we got in the near future. It's definitely going to be a fun one. Alright, that is it for me. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like the video, subscribe if you haven't. And now, I did say on Twitter that I would be doing my predictions for SummerSlam Wednesday. Apparently, I got a little mix-up in my own schedule coming up. So I think I'm going to do my predictions for SummerSlam tomorrow. Maybe make some educated guesses on some additional matches that haven't been announced yet. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. And until next time, happy wrestling, everybody. Peace.